Steve on our production team came up with this idea. I can't take the credit.
It's a brilliant idea.
But it has holes, so we need to talk through it. What if you take the Jags and you take the Jets and you put them in the postseason? Not in the way that you think you put them in the postseason. You have them play fittingly on a Thursday that leads into wild card weekend. Jets, Jags. What are they playing for? Not a chance at the Super Bowl and to further progress in the postseason. But the winner of that game between the Jets and the Jags gets the first pick in the draft.
Love it.
Add some intrigue, give another game.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea. I absolutely think it's a brilliant idea. And then there's people sitting at home like, why would some of these players want to play for the future? Because they're playing for their own future as well. Maybe they're playing for contracts. Maybe they're playing for a specific coaching staff. Maybe they're playing for their own record books, whatever it is. But it creates some serious intrigue between two losing franchises. And then you're not going out every single week as a fan of these teams rooting for them to lose.
You want your fans to celebrate a win.
Yes.
I to watch, it wasn't being conflicted. I mean, all of the New York Jets fan base was furious at that win. Players are going to go out there and they want to compete to win. So I don't know if that'll be as much of a problem. You're probably thinking, well, so wait, Sam Darnold's going to go out there for the Jets, play in this game that you've created, Cornets, and understanding that it's to usurp him as the franchise quarterback. Well, how's he going to go out there and play? I don't know. Get creative with it. At the end of the day, it's another game that the fans would consume. Okay, why would the players play, Shay? Scratch. They're going to get paid. It's another game check for them. And like you said, it's an audition for these guys to maybe go elsewhere if their contracts are expiring or for them to re-up there. Ultimately, the NFLPA would probably never go for this, but I think it's a cool idea. I do.
I think it's actually a fantastic idea. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. So the question becomes, this is not going to happen, obviously, not at least this year. So the Jets have the number 2 pick. What do? You're not going to get Trevor Lawrence at this point. Do you go Justin Fields or do you go a different route or do you keep Sam Darnold and you trade away the pick? I mean, what do you do? I am in the camp where I think you can, at this point, do I think Trevor Lawrence would have been a great fit in New York? Yes. Do I think he could have changed the franchise? Yes. It's not going to happen now. So what do I think?
It may not happen. It's not guaranteed.
Okay, you're right. It may not happen now.
You know who the Jags have next?
The Jags have the Browns. The Jets have the Browns.
The Jags have the Bears next.
Yeah, thank you. I thought that. Anyways.
And that's a possibility.
You're throwing me off my game.
Sorry.
My point is, I think you can build around Sam Darnold. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but it is true. You have a new coordinator.
You want the Jets to stay with Sam Darnold?
Jordan, you don't have a lot of options. And I'm sorry, I think Justin Fields is a great quarterback, but he's turnover prone. He is not. I don't think he is the top prospect like Trevor Lawrence is. I do not.
That's what we're doing here.
And so I think if you're the Jets and you can bring in some help and a capable coaching staff, let's be real here. Look what Ryan Tannehill has become after he left Adam Gase.
Look what Josh Rosen has become.
Josh Rosen, though, is an anomaly. I understand so is Ryan Tannehill. But
Rosen's not an anomaly. That good quarterbacks in college maybe go to a position in the NFL and set up to fail, but then maybe they just aren't good enough. Maybe it just didn't work out for them, or maybe their confidence is shot to a point where it never works for them.
There's been multiple teams with Rosen.
I'll give you this.
Darnold's still on the same team.
I'll give you this. Darnold, his position players in college were better than the ones he's been dealing with in the NFL. And probably how it was set up from a coaching standpoint was probably better in college than it was in the NFL. I get those things. He had Rojo. He had Juju Smith-Schuster. He had better playmakers around him at USC.
And then if you change a coordinator and a coaching staff to make him the best capable quarterback he can be, I'm not saying it's going to fix everything, but it would make him better, no doubt.
Give me Justin Fields if you're the Jets. That's one of the options that's better than keeping Sam Darnold. What I will be willing to concede is Sam Darnold can maybe go elsewhere and be better, but he needs a change of scenery. He can't be the guy there. So go get Justin Fields at number 2. Heck, go get Zach Wilson from BYU if you think he's the guy at number 2. Or what you can also do, because we know what the Jets are and how many problems that the Jets have, go ahead and trade down. Give up number 2 and take in a haul of other things. I'm looking back to 2016, the Eagles. They traded 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick to the Browns to move up to number 2. They took Carson Wentz. We won't go down that path. But look how we're talking about the Browns now. The Browns took in that haul, and look where the Browns are today. So for the Jets, trade the pick. Go get a bunch of other people. Then sure, Shay, ride with Sam Darnold or do whatever the heck you want. Or maybe you trade the pick, you get all this other draft capital, and maybe you decide to take on a guy like Carson Wentz. Maybe because
Okay.
Joe Douglas has a history with him, maybe you do something like that. Maybe that's the play.
Maybe that's the play.
But to me, your suggestion of Sam Darnold ain't it.
I mean, I hear you on a change of scenery. I just think a change of a coaching staff and leadership and the way things are run around there and help around him could make him a better quarterback. There are examples in the National Football League. Look at Alex Smith.
So if you keep
Look at Ryan Tannehill.
If you keep Sam Darnold, what do you do in the draft? Take Sewell from Oregon, take the left, take another,
get some prime protection
guy on
for
the
him.
offensive
Exactly.
line?
And then get some weapons for him. Help him out on defense.
You already got Becht in there.
Yes, help him in any way you can. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. We're presented by Progressive Insurance, and all guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, where Shay and Jordan Cornette, we are filling in. We are happy to be doing so. So a former number 2 overall pick who has gone from a potential MVP to OUT. We'll get to that after Jordan tells you about Walmart.
OMG, that was really good. Free shipping is great. Free shipping, no minimum. That's the Walmart Plus magic for your holiday. Get all your last-minute shopping done with free next day or
to your point, including 0 of 7 on such passes in the first half. So there were no passes essentially thrown more than 10 yards last night by Big Ben. I mean, wildly inaccurate would probably be an understatement. Did he look lost? Yes. But do I think this is who he is as a quarterback week in and week out? No. I mean, come on. You're not going to sit here. I know you're sitting here and saying he's done. It's over. I mean, come on. We've seen 3 bad games, 3 offensively bad games. Those weren't all his fault. Last night, yes, Big Ben didn't look right, but this is not who he is typically as a quarterback.
Offense lacks any kind of real explosion. He can't hit that deep ball. And yeah, you're right, Shay. At one point this year, he was getting a little bit of buzz for like an MVP. It was because of how that team was doing, how they were feasting on a weaker schedule. If you go back and look at that 11-0 start, they were able to sneak by some teams, take advantage of some teams that are good now that were struggling then, and quite frankly, beat some bottom feeders. That's how they got to 11-0. And that's why people should have looked at this team and said, okay, they're undefeated at this point, but they're not really that dangerous. I look at the remainder of the schedule for the Steelers. Where's the get-right game now? Where is the ability to clinch this thing? Against the Colts, when they look at the Colts this coming week, they're going to see a team that they hoped they were. A veteran quarterback in Phillip Rivers who's getting the job done, a defense that is an elite defense consistently, and a team that can truly compete
and can truly run the ball,
to win the Super Bowl and can run the football.
Yeah. They're
going to be looking at a Colts team that was supposed to be the Steelers, and all that's gone. I don't think the Steelers win another game this season or in the postseason. I think you've seen the last win from the Steelers, and it came 3 weeks ago.
Okay, I will just say this, though. Can we just all put this in perspective? Like, the NFL is such a what have you done for me lately, short memory kind of league. Like, it changes drastically day to day, week to week. You're saying this now, but now if the Steelers turn things around, and let's not rule out a veteran like Ben Roethlisberger or a coach like Mike Tomlin or those receivers that they have, or if James Conner comes back. I mean, there are, and we
James Conner comes back. What was James Conner doing when he was healthy?
Jordan, we had him on our fantasy team, so don't do that.
You were mad that we put him on
because he's not always healthy. He's not always
when
active.
He was out there, he wasn't doing it. Where I will maybe ride with you. This is where I'll maybe ride with you that this thing somehow magically gets flipped. And I'm only riding with you because we are bound by marriage, and I'm always supposed to have your back.
That's right. You talk to him. That's true.
The only way I can see that maybe the Steelers turn this around is if you look at the rigors of the schedule and what COVID has done to this team and the position it's put them in because of scheduling. They have played their 3rd game in 12 days. They're coming off of that. But they had a week prep for this one. And it was against the Bengals. And they looked really flat.
And a 13 quarterback.
But maybe they've hit the wall. Maybe they've hit that wall. Maybe they needed to flush this out, this 3-game stretch where 3 games in 12 days was simply too much for them. They've been shell-shocked. They've gotten that out of the system. This is just a very rear-view thing these last 3 games, and they get back to being truly tested by a Colts team that they really respect, go out there and get a win that builds their confidence back. Because you know Mike Tomlin is at his best when they are the underdog. They came into this one the heavy favorite. They are not good in that role, and it showed in this game.
Please. They have not been an underdog.
You wanted me to ride with you. I'm trying to find a way to ride with you.
I mean, a team that was undefeated hasn't been the underdog in a hot minute. Okay, here's the Pittsburgh Steelers' remaining schedule. They obviously lost last night to the Bengals. Now they have the Colts at home, and then they have to go to Cleveland and face the Browns for the last game of the season. A tall task, as you just mentioned. And what's the mindset of the Steelers right now? Well, last night after the game, Cam Hayward said, I'm not just disappointed, I'm actually aggravated. Here's Cam Hayward. Take a listen.
I'm just pissed off. We just lost a damn game, and I think that's the way our team feels. we're not feeling sorry for ourselves, but we gotta get the job done.
Yeah, and you don't have a